And he probably knows the hatch is open at this point, so there's no route back. The pressure is still entirely on Outsiders to try to find a player out of this. The door in the back gets popped open. The shotgun swings the corner a bit wide. Another smoke canister pop. They finally find the first at the bottom of the staircase, but 30 seconds, and they still got to find the site.
Still a lot of damage done already by Rogue, though, in terms of time that has been wasted. Now they need to try to get themselves in the right position. However, Milan up above on these hatches here, we've seen him make massive impacts before. He might be looking to do the exact same thing again.
He has no other choice. They're just tucked around, going for the plant itself. The smoke canister's off the board, and the Echo is still on, but so is pretty much everybody else from the side of Rogue. Bloodshed everywhere. This Rogue that are the ones that leave with their bodies in position. I was going to talk about out of the strike that comes next, but here, that position's becoming a lot more dangerous to play. The bulletproof goes, as does always, to the top, maybe to open up the hatch itself, force the players into a slightly trickier situation, but it's a dangerous rotate to make when you've always got the risk of, well, Rogue striking back from the bottom to the top. The separation in 20 seconds leads to things like that. There's drop, there's a bite back from Wrath, takes the hatch and the damage on another bulletproof as Deepek's looking over the long line. Esport, though, round the side of the beepers, gets one more for his trouble. Always is tucked inside a box, but doesn't last very long. Rogue find a second.
Oh, they had no clue. Deepek dug himself in between the two openings onto the quad wall there, finds one, goes prone instantly after to allow Sport basically unbeaten until they manage to find a way right through to the middle of the site.
Oh, there's a very cheeky tape from Deepek. Just caught Pasha on the window there, holding the angle, and that's the thing. It becomes such a risky game here when you're limited on bodies. You throw yourself in, Raskir, and he's being swung from every which way. Gets the first, gets dropped from the revenge there as Deepek's still tucked in. They know exactly where Always is. He finds the first engagement. It's the second. And that team I talked about before, Rogue, find that third in a row.
And again, as I mentioned, it is going to be impossible to win it as long as there is someone in that Janitor. As long as most likely will be by dropping through that hatch and trying to attack from two different angles at the same time. As that grenade pops through, Milan will find a hatch shot, and that is going to be bringing it back to a 3-on-3 situation here. But again, lots of utility, and there is going to be long angles as well on the side of Rogue.
Leon maybe expected a little bit more pressure to come through on the end of it and thought the grenade would be the same thing and hoped they could swing into somebody a little bit by surprise there and get one before he got 20 seconds now, and it's an even hand. 3 versus 3, and they've still got to try and fight through onto the site itself. Deepek holding and spraying towards the long angle. The plant's being stuck on the far end. Spoit gets the catch onto one, but the kit should get locked in here by Always. No, it's Deepek! The impact, it's a second too late. Or even slimmer than that with Milan now the Overwatch to 3 versus 1. And all 3 of them are coming for the fight itself. They know where he is. They know what they want to do, and it's this. The first, the second, the third! Can he make it, Milan? He's looking for one more kill, one more body to tear this round apart. He hasn't had an impact before now, but there is the biggest one.
He needed to get it. He needed to get the 3 Ps there as they needed to retake the top floor. Last note, so well done by Outsiders so far. They managed to find themselves 2 opening kills, and all they need to do now is work themselves towards the rest as they strode themselves through the Syria laser gate right there. Just take this side by brute force, and now the last 2 players are going to be offside. Spoit needs to retake through that small archives rotate. Grind makes a lot of noise whilst he does that as well, and it's only up to him right now on the Oryx.
I mean, blinked and you missed it. That take was diabolical. They just drove into the site. They knew where the player was playing. They knew he had a position around that location before, and the wall was electrified. Usually it's a long juggle to get that wall open. And a Buck had a different idea. Just took the damage, ran his way through, pre-fired the swing angle under the expectation.
He was waiting at the bottom side of these staircases, but he missed the opportunity. The hammer sticks out, but he was unable to respond in time.
That's it. He took himself as far wide on that stair set as possible, but here's the difference maker that might be the rest of the round. It is Leon on the back line with a smoke canister that goes too far. There's an EMP dropped over the top to stop a C4 if it hit the ground running. They're going to see if they can stick it, and they do, even amongst the smoke. A little bit too far of a swing, but Rask on the back cannot get the kill onto Cryon on the site itself. 4 versus 3. And the retake is going to happen with slightly less bodies this time, but it goes a bit of a better way. Cryon gets Milan, and the first, the second is here for support with Always on that stretch. Dan, he's watching down on the kit itself. The 4 versus 2, they've got the first angle, it's theirs. He's able to get the freebie onto Deepek as he hops over the table itself. They're still going for a 2-story retake here all the way to where Always is. They don't entirely know. They've taken the drop on the hatch. He's playing himself so safe. The smoke cover there, and it's caught out. Dan locked down from the back. The man's down inside the side. It's all down to Cryon. No! Outsiders in a 2 versus 4 and a cautious arm get themselves 3 apiece. Backline, they have the ADSs onto that connecting corridor itself to buy them as much safety and sanction on any of the moves here, with Dan getting the first. Kanto goes, Milon puts a shoulder of damage into Esport, with Cryan trying to offer some support close on the door. That should remove Milon, and there it is, the swing round. But look at this, suddenly it's just Cryan left. In the meantime, we're watching that one fight. Everything fell apart on the site itself. They went for the plant. Smoke canister stopped it, caught the kill. And this is what we're talking about at these takes. Outsiders are very good at that lockdown, at that sort of from any sense of close.
And Leon needs to be careful, though, because he is a soft breacher, but also the hard breacher of the team, carrying 2 of the hard breach gadgets, as Cryan will be finding another kill. Finds Pasha on the top floor, and still chasing down.
That's it. As I said, they like to swing that game, so it's something where they had to do it at a bit of an arm's length. The break through the door, and they're cut immediately out the door. Dan tried to go for a charge. Cryan with a triple. It's a spray onto the door itself, but a flawless is the return and the response there from the flawless that was achieved by Outsiders in the first half.
They're aware of the Izama displaying right behind the keeper barricade. It's going to be very difficult for Rogue here to punch through, to muscle through from the different kind of angles that they have. But it needs to happen as Dan will find Deepak, and that is going to be a very heavy blow for Rogue.
Esport at least gets one back and one more back right on the beeper's door. He finds a third! Esport cooking him inside the kitchen, looks for the fourth just on the tucky onto the cans and swing round. There's pressure on the door itself, and Kanto's able to find the kill on the back of it. It's suddenly all falling away. There's just an echo drone, and a second. They find the first. Can he get the angle? No, both are caught out! There's the intel and the calls from a team well rehearsed in panic situations. A 3 versus 1 retake. Always almost had that. And now he's got a much trickier task that Esport disagrees with. A very restrained little fist bump there from a man who just pulled off a 4K.
Around.
Well, this time, 45 seconds, and Pasha at least gets the first, but Kanto a quick response over the shoulder of it, and Milon underneath the hatch puts the kit cold. It's in a place that can be got with the remaining time, and you can see they're slightly slinking their way over to get it, but it's still dangerous. You've always still got the risk, and that's why they've got to be slow and steady with it. The smoke canister's going to stop any immediate approach, and a swing behind it. The garage control, and this, the drop onto the elevator hatch, and slightly slowed here on the angle. Sport's going to take a shoulder of damage, but gets Milon's head for the trouble. Behind the chassis and the drone rolling their way through. They're putting all their pressure and sort of eggs into the B basket here in 10 seconds. They've got to make sure it connects. It does not always. Gets the first, gets the second. Popped and locked round the corner. A great triple kill to end it. Outsiders bringing it back to 5 apiece.
Making sure that they keep it tight.
Esport, can he try and do a little bit of magic once again? He's looking for the location, looking for the calls, looking for the angle, and looking to be gifted one. But look at this. All of Outsiders have pulled themselves back around the corner. They're not going to overextend. They don't have to. Leon's able to find the first, the second. Oh, just missed out, but Cryan is able to catch the kill there from the window on the far end. There's Esport with one more. It's just always left. As I said, at one point it was scrappy, but now twice. Oh, it was almost a flawless, I was going to say.
Almost again, but, you know, 3 guns lined up in the end. Only one of them was taken out by the Outsiders player. I think they could just plant right behind the desk if they wanted to.
Well, that's going to slow things down a little. Dan catches Esport on the drop into the hatch itself. As I said, they might try and put the fight into open, and they do. Leon tucked around the corner, gets 2. Milon does find Deepak, but still, now he's got to bite back into the side. Oh, hell of a take there from the long range. Milon is all that's left, though, in the 2 versus 1. He's got the pings onto the first on site. Can't quite get the full connection. The kid is cold, but they have 35 seconds. Was going to break it, but just misses the rotation of the player itself there. Kanto's got it back, and he's not going to play around.
Yeah.
This is experience. I'm going to go get that kit tucked, and you got to watch me from the one angle. They might be able to get to me in time. A very clever moment and cool there, and definitely the right decision. There's Cryan, just slips by. That's the 3rd time. Milon has been so close to getting in a fight. At this point, they've pulled off one underneath and one's heading up, rotating over the top of the spiral stairs itself. They've got just that swing round onto green. If they try and go for the defuse, they've got themselves above as well, but they're not overextending. The angles are there. The players are prepped in a position to go for this. You cannot really long arm it. And at this point, it's an impossible situation at this moment in time. Rogue, they've played this perfectly at the very end, and it's been a fight on the way here. Outsiders, once again, very close, but Rogue, 3 points are theirs. Yeah.